Welcome back. So, they say goldfish have a 3-second memory.
Everybody knows that's a myth.
For years, I was totally convinced that I just had a bad memory. I figured some people were just born with photographic memories, and I don't know, I just wasn't one of them.
Yep, I know what you mean.
I thought it was just me.
Well, I have good news. You aren't the problem. Your methods are. And I'm going to share the one neuroscience-backed discovery that proved to me that my brain and yours just needed the right user manual to remember pretty much anything.
Science.
We think of forgetting as a flaw of the brain, but it's actually a feature. Like if you remembered every single thing, like, I don't know, where you parked last Tuesday, your brain would literally drown in useless data. Forgetting is how the brain clears space for what really matters. The problem is, we've been taught that learning is all about cramming more information in. Reading, rereading, highlighting, stuffing our brains full of data. But neuroscience proves those methods are wildly inefficient.
Wait, what did you just say? Is there a name for this?
The forgetting curve.
Can you explain that?
Forgetting curve was mapped more than a century ago by Hermann Ebbinghaus. Ebbinghaus found that the most significant drop in memory retention occurs almost immediately after learning something new, forgetting up to 70% of information within 24 hours. Now, after that initial sharp decline, the rate of forgetting slows down. However, without going back to review information, only a small fraction of it is retained in the long term. The good news is, once you know how to work with the curve instead of against it, you can actually hack your brain to remember almost anything.
Science.
So I started to wonder, what if the issue wasn't my brain, but the instructions I was giving it? That's when I stumbled upon the real secret to memory. It's not about forcing more information in. It's about the ability to pull it out.
Wait, what?
Well, think of memory like hacking a tiny path in a dense jungle. The first time, it's this almost invisible trail that can easily get overgrown. And if you just passively reread your notes, it's like looking at the map of the jungle. You're not actually walking the path. But when you actively try to recall that information, you force your brain to send a signal down that neural pathway again. And every time you do this, that path gets wider and clearer, faster to travel. You are literally strengthening the connections between your neurons.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Look, it's not magic, it's science.
Science.
So what's this life-changing tip? Well, it's a powerful 2-part combo that works with your brain's natural wiring.
Are you going to tell me or not?
I'd love to know that.
Active recall with spaced repetition.
Can you explain that in layman's terms?
First, active recall. At its core, this is really just testing yourself. So, if you want to remember something from a book, instead of rereading a chapter, close the book and try to summarize the key points out loud. It's harder for sure, but that's what makes it work. You're actually forcing the brain to retrieve the information, which strengthens that neural path that we talked about. A brilliant way to do this is with the Feynman Technique.
Say what?
It's simple. Try to explain a concept you're learning in the simplest terms you can, like you're teaching it to an 8-year-old. You'll immediately find the holes in your understanding when you get stuck or start using fuzzy language.
You said there were 2 things.
Now, the second part is spaced repetition. And this is how we fight back against the forgetting curve. Instead of cramming your review sessions all together, you space them out over increasing intervals. After a day, and then after a couple days, and then after a week, and so on. By reviewing the material right when you're about to forget it, you're sending a really strong signal to your brain that says, hey, don't forget about me, this is important. Each time you do this, the memory gets more durable. The path gets stronger.
That is genius.
That changes everything.
Now, when I started using active recall with spaced repetition, everything changed. I went from forgetting information overnight to holding on to complex details for months. It proved to me that a bad memory is mostly a myth. Look, your brain isn't a hard drive that gets full. It's a muscle that gets stronger with the right kind of exercise. This is the ultimate workout for that memory muscle.
Woods.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
I feel better already.
Now, if you dig this stuff as much as I do, like this video and subscribe.
Oh, you know we will.
I like being smart.